Hey, what's up, guys? So, these are going to be things on what you need to know transferring from a demo to a funded account. So, what specifically I'm going to be talking about is how to set partials and how to enter a trade using a limit or a market buy sell. I used to do market um orders, but now I do limit orders. Um, in the beginning, when I first started my demo account, I was like, I don't know how people can use limit accounts if they don't know where the market is going. Now I got to the point where I can rely on limit orders, and it's kind of the opposite for me now, where I'm saying I don't know why people would do market orders if they can't get a good risk management on their trades. But I don't think I've been through any problems. I mean, maybe once in a while on using limits orders, but there's always pros and cons to everything, I guess. So, all right, so going over with starting on Top Step X. So, what I'm going to be comparing is Top Step X and to what we all know, TradingView, the website itself compared to the broker that uses TradingView as well as doing your analysis on the charts. So we're going to go ahead and start on TradingView actually. So for those of you that know, let me go to full screen. I know you guys can see like a limit of how everything is set up, but what you guys know over here is your market buy and sells would be right at the bottom. I know you guys can't see it, but down at the bottom it will have your paper trading and then the trade little panel. You'll click on that and it gives you over here. Let's see if I can move this. Over here, your market and limits. Um, so with that, I was always used to doing market orders. So let's say on a 15-minute time frame, I want to enter longs in this area. So for those of you that use this as a tool, I'll put my stop at these lows and target this high right here, small 1 to 2. So what you would do on specifically TradingView, there's multiple ways. For some, you're able to right click and it'll have your buy limits and sell stop. So since price is right here and I'm underneath price, I'm going for a buy. That's why it's giving me my buy option. Um, Vice versa, if I was above price, right here is price. If I was above price and I click right click, it'll give me my sell limit. So this is your sell, this would be your buy. That's for limits, but you can always, when price ends up tapping into this area, always have these checked up so you know where you're stopping and your take profit is at. Do your little risk management, whatever you do, whatever you risk, amount of contracts, and simply it's just a button, go to market. As long as you're on market, it's just a buy or sell. Once you're on sell, you would have to go down here where it says sell. So the one thing that they don't tell you when you're switching over to a funded account is, well, you would have your trading panel over here. And if we take a look on our funded account, actually, damn, you guys can't see it. You would have your contract panel thing over here that would give you everything you need. But I don't really use this at all. I I do this. So I would go over to where I want price to be at. So let me just double tap. So price on ES. Why do the charts look like that? Candles look weird. So here's current price. I will right click. Well, first I always bring up this so I know exactly on where the risk and everything is at. I would right click, do my limit buy, and then if you look over here, it'll give you your options on what contracts you be using. Um, so if I have this set up, you guys would set your TP at any equal highs. Like right here, we have equal highs. But if you want to take partials, so let's say you're going up here and you want TP1 at this equal high. This would be just labeled as TP1. And obviously we know that your final TP is up here. So how you would do that is you would right click. Well, with some options, people are used to clicking this button, but TopStep X doesn't use that as an option. All you have to do is just go at the level and price you want to be at. As you can see, I'm at 6,251. I will right click and I want to do a limit buy. You can, here's your options too as well for your market buy and sell. But keep in mind, once you click this button, you're not starting off on where you originally click at. Obviously, we all know a market buy is an instant fill on where price is at that moment. So again, if I did a market buy, I literally entered not right here on where I originally right clicked my button, but right here because this is where the market is at. So it's an instant market buy and sell. But with where I went over with price, my mouse went down onto this line and I am now at my limit buy. This will set me up for a limit buy. I want to see if I could just double check this. I don't. Right here would be my limit buy, and you would just wait till price ends up tapping into this area. Once it taps into that area, um, let's say that this is your limit buy. I just want to double check because we're getting close to 8 o'clock, which is where fucking Asia session's at. So I don't want to get filled with anything. But with this as an example, let's say this was your limit buy and extended out here. What you would do once you get filled is you're able to like drag this entire box down and it'll have your stop loss. Your stop loss box will be right here. And once you drag it again, let's say this is the same thing, you would put your TP up here. So it's like little boxes you can set up. Um, I would show you guys an example, but I low-key just picked up this funded right now, but you guys will be able to tell it's a click and drag for stop loss and take profit, setting where you want everything to be at. So that's something to keep in mind. But with TPs, so this is something that you really need to understand, or you're gonna fuck yourself up, like I did, um, many times. Right here, let's say we're in a long, and we want our TP1 to be right here. We would set. Let me just double check. We will have a limit sell option, which I think we only get that option when we're actually filled in. So when I'm filled in an actual trade, it should give me my options, I think, in this area. Because if you click stop sell and then you placed your where you want TP1 to be at, it's not gonna, let's say you're in a 10 contract trade and you put in a stop sell for 5 contracts, it's gonna add 5 contracts onto that trade. So it'll be a 15 contract trade, and your entry points will go up more because this is where you also got filled. So do not click stop sell. You're just adding more contracts to your trade, which will fuck up your entire risk management. And it'll be reversal. So, like I said, if you're in a long, your TP1 will be called, or your long trade partials would equal, this is what you're looking for. When you're in a long trade right here, going for partials, you would look for a limit sell as TP1 or 2, how many contracts you're in and where you want to set your TPs for partials. For example, like right here, you can see that this is a 1 to 8 risk reward. If I want to take TP1, which would be a limit sell, and like I said, you'll go over here. It'll give you your limit sell option. It's not giving it to me right now. It's because I'm not actually in a trade. You would have the same options over here as to how many contracts you want. So if I'm in a 1 to 8 trade, I would want TP1 right up here set as 4 contracts, or I don't know, whatever you guys feel comfortable with. I feel comfortable like with what I know so far. I just cut everything in half. So this would be like a 1 to 4 on a half trade. And that's like all you guys would have to do. Once price taps into it, the area where you got filled at would go up a little bit more. So either you can have TP1 and partials set up, but keep in mind your entry level is going to move up or down. It's going to move up if you're in longs, it'll move down when you're in shorts. But you could either do that or take your entire stop loss all the way up to break even, either above break even, exactly at break even. I always go like a little bit above, depending on where you're filled at. But you can fuck, what's it called? You can like drag your stop loss. So let's say, obviously price is right up here. I'll have my stop loss right here, and I'll just be holding it the entire time. It's trailing your stop loss basically. Um, and this is the same way on how to do runners, which if you don't know what that is, it's like, let's say this will be your final TP, but final TP got hit right here, but price ended up coming a little bit even more. You would set your limit buy, because we're not doing a limit sell. If you did a limit sell, it would start filling you up here and you'll be going short basically. It'll fill you out as a short. So you want to do a limit buy, and like I said, this will be a total of 8 contracts. Let's say this was 4. Your final TP will be 3 contracts, and you will leave 1 contract up to a level where you want to take partials at. That will be like your little trail. It'll be like one small. It'll be like one small contract floating in the air. I'm getting a call right now from my one friend. Donnie, if you're watching this video, bro, take notes. So that is what you will see for if you want to do partials and trailing stop loss and how to trail your TP. You're basically leaving an extra contract for your trailing, as of what I know, and for your stop loss, you can bring it to break even once you hit a certain level where you feel comfortable on moving your stop loss at. So then moving on to shorts, since you're in a short, going for a 1 to 4. This right here wouldn't be a limit buy, it will be a limit sell. And then once price taps in, you get filled and it goes in the direction where you want it to go. Once you instantly get filled, you would drag your entire box where it gets filled. Your box doesn't move. It still stays in the same spot where you got filled at. It's your stop loss and take profits that move. You would move it right here. There will be 2 boxes here now with its own line, of course, on where it's showing. I don't even think it'll be worded as stop. It'll be worded something else. I forgot what it was. And then you would drag again your next box. You would click the same button and you would drag it down here. This is if you don't have this setting on. So with this setting, go over to TopStep X. This one is also really important. This is something, instead of dragging all the time and just having everything set exactly on where you want everything to be at. Obviously, I only risked $250, so instead of dragging it up to $250, it would automatically be set at these specific risk and profits. So you can have this checked off to where when you want to be filled, it will instantly have everything already at its levels instantly. It will instantly pop up like this. You might maybe need to tweak it a little bit, but it should have everything right here. I just keep it like this so I'm able to make sure the risk is where I want it to be. It depends on where you get filled. Sometimes I want to come into the market risking, 5 contracts at $250 per risk, and it ends up being 260, 280, whatever. It's not like that's really gonna matter, but I guess it could add up. Um, Ideally, don't want to be taking a trade if you're gonna go and draw down, but drawdown is your safe spot. So for sure, take advantage of that because I've had trades that ended up in my drawdown, and I just closed the trade too early, and it ends up going to TP. So just set and forget, they say. But you do want to keep track of what's going on in your trade. Like for example, if I enter on a 5 minute, I will go on to a 1 minute and double check order flow. Keep following imbalances if it's respecting or disrespecting it. Keep an eye on your high time frame liquidities if there's going to be a SMT formed or whatnot. On 1 minute, it depends if there's a PD array inside of it, but on 1 minute SMTs, that's not something you should be worried about. It's just not everything is going to be exactly the same on these pairs, but there will be SMTs that won't hold and will fake you out. So going back though, for partials, since we are in a sell, we are in an overall limit sell, we are only looking, or since a limit sell is a short, we are looking for our partials, and that will be called a limit buy. This is what our partial will be. So you're filled, price hits your TP1, it might go up a little bit because let's say you enter off of liquidity, sell side liquidity or internal range of liquidity. Your overall final TP is an external range of liquidity. So your internal range of liquidity gets tapped in. We have a little bit of a reaction, failed to make a little high, and have continuation downwards. TP gets hit, but keep in mind, once your TP1 gets hit, the place where you originally got filled at will go down a little bit lower, and I think your stop loss will follow a little bit depending on your risk that you also have and carries with it. To where this trade where you entered up here and your partial was right here, that's basically one trade. So you're in two trades of one, if that makes sense. So now it's just gonna put you as almost like this, where it's like this part of the market, you're trading this. So it's like a continuation, if this makes sense. So it's getting a little bit sloppy, but just keep in mind, once TP1 gets hit, your entry will go down if you're in a long, or your entry will go down if you're in a short. Your entry will move up if you're in a long, if TP1 or 2 gets hit. However, multiple TPs you have, you would get filled lower and lower and lower, and I think your stop loss would also carry with it at the same level on where you're risking. It won't go up here at this point, because then let's say market reverses on you and you're like, holy shit, I didn't mean to risk that much in this trade or whatever. um, but I'm also pretty sure that when TP1 gets hit, you're at break even. Your trade instantly goes to break even, which means you're in a trade that has no risk, so it's a unrisked trade. So that is how you guys would take partials. Okay, so that's how you guys would take partials. And that is how you guys will do your limit orders and market orders using Top Step X. You go over to the level or where in price you want to be at. So let's say, just simply looking at the charts, we see this huge wick. We would go onto this wick, and you would look on your right. I mean, it's not just a wick. It's a number basically. The number, if you look on your right, is 6,254. So you would go up here. Let's say we want to short this little candle. We want to top tick this. You place your stop loss right here. Target external range of liquidity. Internal range of liquidity would be TP1. Right here, you would see, for example, we would get filled. And you'll have your arrow that will follow with it. Stop loss is right up here, obviously. Final TP is right here. So right here would have been your limit sell. You would have got filled. Once you're filled, you would drag your stop loss up here, TP down here, and for you to go to your internal range of liquidity as TP1, you would go to that level and price, right click it, and it will be a limit sell. Limit buy. I'm so sorry, I keep switching this up. It'll be a limit buy because you're already in a sell. So if you put a sell on a sell, you're adding it. It's like a negative and a negative makes a positive. And then somehow a positive and a positive makes a negative. Vice versa, a sell and a sell, which is a short, it's going to add on more contracts. A buy and a buy, it's just going to add more contracts in that long. If you guys know what I mean. A short means sell. You're selling the market. You're making profit on the market. Um, I think I think that's everything. If that makes sense, please feel free to give this video a like. If it doesn't make sense and you guys want me to make another video with me showing live action of the market and how I enter my trades and where I put my stop loss and everything, I will greatly make that video for you guys, a live actual video for you guys. Just comment down and let me know if you guys want any further updates with that. So I'll be able to show you guys, hopefully a big win. If not, I'll just show you guys me losing the market. But um, obviously, trying to enter a trade where you think, you don't want to be hesitant on your trades or say to yourself, oh, why did I enter off this? You know what I mean? So, yes, so this is a video recap on how to take partials and how to enter a trade order using a limit order or a market order.